And howdy do. Hey, I am Tom the Beer Whisperer, and you're once again drinking with the Beer Whisperer. Hey, I decided to do something crazy. This is crazy, Tom. No, so what? So, I have my last Schlafly.APA from a mixed 12 I had, and I also have a Zombie Dust from Three Floyds. My dishwasher just ended. So, since they're both APAs, I thought I wanted to do a side-by-side with them. Not necessarily to say which one's better than the other, but just out of curiosity, compare differences. So I'm going to pour some into a little glass here. That's the Schlafly. And let's pour the Zombie Dust. I poured them both in the same glass. Well, not the same glass, because then it'd be mixed together, but the same kind of glass. This one is the Schlafly. This one is the Zombie Dust. As you can see, they are nearly identical in color. Color is very, very close indeed. Statistically, the Schlafly.APA is 5'9", while the Zombie Dust is 6'4", 60. So statistically, the Zombie Dust is a little bigger. The aromas now they mention the hops in the Schlafly as Cascade Chinook, but they don't mention Three Floyd Zombie Dust what hops are used. But the aromas that you get are, you get some pine, kind of juniper-esque. You get some citrus, some grapefruit, obviously, but you also get some tropical notes up. I get pineapple, almost as if Citra was used. This doesn't use Citra, it uses Chinook. But you do definitely get clear notes of pineapple on the nose. And on the Zombie Dust, very similar, although the biggest difference right away is that the juniper is much more sharp on the nose than on the Schlafly. And you do get the citrus, grapefruit. I'm not getting pineapple on the nose, but I'm getting kind of like these, tropical, like mango notes there on the Zombie Dust. So let's take a drink, and then we'll see here. Oh yeah, I love this APA. I love it for a lot of reasons. I love it because I love the flavors, but I also love it because it is moderately priced. Generally find a 6-pack of it for about $8. I found a mixed 12 that had 4 of these, 4 oatmeal stouts, and 4 of their pale ales for only $13. But you can usually find a 6-pack for about $8 to $8.50, which is pretty reasonable. The flavors, you do get some pine, but not an overwhelming amount. You do get some grapefruit, a lot of other citrus notes going on. Even that pineapple I mentioned on the nose, you get a lot of flavors as if Citra hops were in there, although they are not. I'm guessing that's mostly coming from the Chinook, or the combination there of the both. But those are the flavors that you're getting here. Again, on all levels, the flavors on the Zombie Dust are sharper. I'm not saying better, but they're sharper. They're not as I don't want to use the term balanced, maybe blended. Everything comes together on the Schlafly perfectly. One flavor doesn't outshine another. The flavors are a little sharper on the Zombie Dust. With mostly the The juniper and the grapefruit specifically are very pronounced. Now there are other flavors going on in here, and I'm not going to go into complete beer geek speak, but wow, that's what the biggest differences are. I was just curious, because I've got these two. The Zombie Dust I can't get here, but I found it out of town. It was about $10. Like I said, the Schlafly runs about 8 to 8.5 most places, so I was curious what differences there were. I know people are going to want me to say which one is better, and the truth is neither one is better because they're both great with, even though they may technically be the same style more or less, they're not really designed to be the same beer. They're both quality beers that accomplish what they meant to accomplish. This is a nice, fresh, bright APA. It's got all the flavors you want without being overwhelming. Now the Zombie Dust is a little more forward. It's a little sharper. So if you want your taste buds more attacked, then you'll probably like the Zombie Dust better. If you want a more, gosh, I hate to use the term balance, but if you like, how do I put this right? Not necessarily balance. What's the word I'm looking for? Just more easy drinking, maybe. Maybe everything melts together, more complete in the Schlafly. The Schlafly might be more to your liking. So I'm not going to say which one's better because the truth is, I could say there are given days where I'm going to prefer the Schlafly version. There are given days where I'm going to prefer the Zombie Dust. It's going to depend what I'm in the mood for at that moment. The bottom line is they're both great beers. They're both quality beers. They're both worth whatever, I certainly don't mind paying the 10 for the Zombie Dust. But the Schlafly is obviously the better bargain. Wow. My purpose for doing this really was not to say which one was better, is that Zombie Dust gets a lot of hype as one of those, beer geek must-buys, It's on every beer geek's must list to try one time. While Schlafly tends to get overlooked in the world of craft beers as not one of the great craft breweries, and I think that's a disservice to them. I think they are one of the great craft breweries. This is a darn fine beer. Now, most beer geeks are probably going to hammer me for what I just said. I'm not saying the Zombie Dust isn't as good as this. I'm not saying this isn't as good as the Zombie Dust. I'm saying they're both perfect in what they do, and I would be doing a disservice to both beers if I picked one over the other because they both do what they're supposed to do. They're both great quality beers that do what they do perfectly. The Zombie Dust is meant to be this big assertive beer. The Schlafly.APA is meant to be this bright, enjoyable APA. Both do what they're supposed to do. So there you go. How about that? I ran that a little bit longer than I wanted, but hey, I'm Tom the Beer Whisperer. I'm going to get the heck out of here. Thanks for putting up with me.